pride of Shackleton. Came to the fore, came to the party, and the party officially begins. Wonderful scenes here.
Clarendon College were again too strong for Jamaica College, beating them 3-0 in the All-Ireland Olivier Shield final on Wednesday at the National Stadium. The team from Northern Clarendon had beaten the boys from Old Hope Road to lift the Olivier Shield in 2019. Now, Wednesday's success was another milestone for Clarendon College's technical director, Lenny Hyde, the 63-year-old who has won every major football trophy in Jamaica at every level, Business House, Premier League, Schoolboy, except the Manning Cup, was leading Clarendon College to a third Da Costa Cup Olivier Shield double. Chris Taylor has the highlights of how Clarendon College won their 6th Olivier Shield.
So the full match highlights, Stephen Dewar blowing his whistle for the start, and from the start of things, Clarendon College on the front foot. Rural rule in schoolboy football in Jamaica. Again. Marquis Reed inside the box, not falling nicely for him, and a shot over the bar. He would have better yet to come, and it would come after 20 minutes. Christopher Hull, nice pass inside. Malachi Douglas from outside the area. Rose not handling it well, and it gave up the opportunity to Reed to get himself into double figures on the season. 10 for him to go with his 11 assists, and number 15 putting Clarendon College in the lead. Lenny Hyde, well, he loved that play. One up on his nemesis, Davian Ferguson. Christopher Hull with a shot, a little bit too central. Rose dealt with that one, pushing it over the bar. But it was all the Yellow Submarine in the first half. Here's the second goal, just 2 minutes after the first. Devontae Hodges, their number 6, from 20 yards. Poor clearance by Romain Blake, and it only fell to that big right leg of Devontae Hodges. Outside of the boot, into the back of the net. 6 on the season for him, and 2 on the night for Clarendon College. Silence in the crowd. This is the best chance for JC in the first half. Makwan Aldridge to Tariq Zimenez. It wasn't clinical enough. They would draw blank in this encounter. Kahim Dixon, man of the match performance. His tricks on the wide areas. This is second half now. Looking to come forward. Dixon there into Reed, who should have found a corner. Heavy strike, but straight to the goalkeeper. And then this. Poor defending. It allowed Kahim Dixon into the area, and he wasn't going to miss. Opened up his body so well and placed it past Rose into the far corner. 17 on the season for Kahim Dixon, and the player of the match for sure. Exhilarating performance, brilliant performance. And
yeah, and I did say National Stadium earlier, but clearly that was the Stadium East field. Now, Lenny Hyde spoke with our team after the game.
Gotten this, it would have been a disappointing season for us. Seeing that everybody expected what they expected from us, the best team in the league, and yap. We have to put it out on the pitch and have trophies to show for it. And it is befitting for that tonight, what we did.
Lenny Hyde, so very happy for him. Commiserations to Davian Ferguson and his brilliant JC team. We're joined by schoolboy football analyst Olivier Williams to recap the encounter. Olivier, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Yeah. You were saying off air that from minute 1 it was Clarendon College domination.
Yeah, I mean, tactics aside, I mean, I came here a couple of days ago. I said that I thought that Jamaica College would win. I thought that tactical they had the edge, but tactics are this, tactics are that, but at the end of the day, even if you ask Pep Guardiola himself, the most important thing is to win your duels. From minute 1, Clarendon College were all over Jamaica College. They were at them. They won every second ball, every first ball. They were always there, creating so many chances, and it was definitely total domination in that game.
You got the sense that JC had an off night from their own perspective. Not an off night meaning that the team, their opponents played so well that they had an off night, but they just didn't turn up, and that if the game was played on a different day, the result would have been the same? Would have been different, rather?
I'm not quite sure, because if you look throughout this season, Jamaica College only struggle when in the first 20 minutes or so, first 25 minutes, a team really gets onto them. The games that we think about that they struggle in those times, the other team didn't capitalize as well. So we think about their quarter-final clash against Stats, the first time they played Stats. They end up winning that game 1-0, but the first 25 minutes, Stats were all over them. Should have been 2-3-0. Then you think about the semi-final against Mona. Mona were all over them. They got the lead, but Mona leave a lot of things wanting defensively. So JC were able to get back into the game on the transition. But this Clarendon College team, a team that can keep the ball so well, a team that when they get a lead, because I also said that if Clarendon College were to get a 2-0 lead, I don't know if Jamaica College would be able to get back into the game, and so said, so done. Clarendon College, they got the lead, they kept the ball well, and Jamaica College had no answer in the end.
Yeah. I hate to consider a team going into a final being complacent. It's something I can't fathom because it's a final and anything can happen. So I don't want to suggest that Jamaica College were complacent. But they went into the game undefeated. They beat KC, who had beaten Clarendon College. Do you think Jamaica College went into this game expecting to win and may have been surprised by what Clarendon College offered in those early exchanges that you just spoke of?
I mean, yes, I do think so. I do think they expected to win because they would think that they have the more talented squad, and they have, as I said, unbeaten. They've dispatched everyone else
That's right.
that has come to them. So they would have expected to win, but at the same time, KC are a different proposition. You know, they had to have had some kind of respect for this Clarendon College team. And Coach Ferguson for Jamaica College spoke about after the game that Jamaica College only got 2 days rest as opposed to the 11 for Clarendon College. So that may have been a factor as well, because he spoke about, his team playing a bit tired, but
leg weary.
Yeah, but I think even without that, with all things being equal, if either of them, both teams had the same amount of rest, and JC came out how they usually come out, and Clarendon College came out like that, it still would have been the same result.
How disappointed do you think Jamaica College would come out of that fixture? Because it was, the narrative from their camp was pretty clear. They wanted the triple. Yeah,
they do. I mean, who wouldn't at this point? They're a very successful team. They're going to want the treble. They're the last team to do it as well. So being stopped by this Clarendon team, that's bragging rights for all of the rural area for almost till next season. So it's going to be rough for them to swallow, and they have players leaving, so maybe they're going to build back and come back stronger as they usually do, to be fair.
When you were previewing the game in your analysis, Leger, you mentioned that Jamaica College's strategist, their coach Davian Ferguson, has shown the aptitude or the acumen to adjust and make tweaks as he goes along, depending on his opponents. Whereas Lenny Hyde pretty much said that he has one way of playing with his team, and they're going to play the Clarendon College way, no matter what JC does or no matter what JC offers. And that was part of the reason why you thought Jamaica College, being more adjustable, could have probably won the game. Having seen the game now, do you think Lenny Hyde played the normal Clarendon College game, but just were more intense?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened, because they still tried to possess the ball, they still tried to create overloads in wide areas, making midfield runs. They still try to do everything that they usually do. Their striker, Dixon, tried to drop off to create the space for players like Malachi Douglas to get in behind. It was the same, rinse and repeat. That's the Lenny Hyde way. He even spoke about the game. This is Lenny Hyde football. Yes. You get me? But at the same time now, I don't think Jamaica College made the requisite changes to deal with this style of play. Yes. I still think that their tactics were very similar to the ones that they had against KC in the Champions Cup final, and they're two completely different teams.
Yes.
Clarendon College like to possess the ball, KC don't. KC like to play in transition, Clarendon College like to be slow and then spring. So I don't think it was the right setup, but at the same time, you wouldn't have had a lot of time to set up. Maybe that would be what he would have said, but Clarendon College are definitely deserving winners.
Yeah, George, when I hear people talk about the best schoolboy football teams of all time, the KC 65 team is mentioned, the Wilmer 71 team is mentioned, the Clarendon College team from 77 is mentioned, which Lenny Hyde was a part of. Now, I didn't see Wilmer 71, I didn't see KC 65. But since I started following football, Lenny Hyde's 1977 Clarendon College team is the best schoolboy football team that I saw, with Den Hutchinson, O'Neill Russell, Glenroy Nemhard, Lenny Hyde, Donovan Ray, and those. And Lenny Hyde has, and you have alluded to it as well, he has transferred his philosophy as a player into how he wants to see his teams play, because the Clarendon College performers now look in many ways similar to the Clarendon College. They just played with so much fluency, so much confidence, composure, a lot of ball handling skills as well. But this passing game, and Lenny Hyde hasn't moved from that as a player and now as a coach.
Well, the way his teams play reflect how he was as a player.
That's right.
You saw him as a player, and people forget that he was a schoolboy champion with Clarendon College, a Premier League champion with Boys Town. Injuries robbed him of his best years as a senior player. Yes, hobbled him, and we didn't see the best of him at his senior level when everybody thought that this was the best player Jamaica had ever produced. But his coaching, his CV is outstanding. I've said on this show that if I were a schoolboy footballer back now, I'd love to play for a coach like Leonard Teacher Hyde because of his philosophy. That word is used a lot. Yeah. But he does have a philosophy, as we can see. We can draw a line through Lenny Hyde teams, and we can plot a graph, and it's pretty similar now to what it was then. So the philosophy has served him well at the business house level, where he runs business house teams. Petrojam, he served them for many years with a lot of Premier League players in the team, of course. Yes. Winning the major trophies there, winning with 3 different Premier League teams, winning the Da Costa Cup, winning the Olivier Shield. As I said, the Manning Cup is the next frontier, the last one for him to conquer. It's something of excellence, and we don't give people their plaudits. I know Lenny Hyde has gotten a lot of plaudits, but I want us to acknowledge that where coaching is concerned, especially youngsters, the man is more than special, and he keeps on producing. At 63, he's going strong. I want to ask Leger this before we go, the last a point before we wrap. So, on paper, the Olivier Shield is supposed to be history's record of the best schoolboy football team that particular season. Is history right in recording Clarendon College, Olivier Shield champions, as the best team of all the teams in the Manning and the Costa Cup which started this season? Is this the best team that you've seen this season?
No,
he smiles.
That's a funny question, George, because this is the same team that we saw get destroyed by, you can say,
that's why I asked.
Yes. It's a tough season because, you know, it's the first season where things are returning to normalcy following the pandemic. So a lot of the teams, I think, I'm not quite sure, because would you be surprised if, say for instance, this Clarendon College team were to play a Stats team? Would you be surprised if Stats won that game?
No, I wouldn't be.
So I think there are like 3 or 4 teams that can have a claim to that as well. So I'm not quite sure.
Right. And that's what you have to go by, because when we look back in the annals of the Manning and the Costa Cup and the Olivier Shield, and you look at the scroll of Manning Cup champions and the Olivier Shield winners, the inference to draw is the safe one at that is to say, okay, so you were Olivier Shield champions in 1989. Well, you were the best schoolboy football team. But you're saying that for this year, and for the makeup of the various competitions, maybe 3 or 4 teams on any given day can beat each other. There wasn't one team that stood above everybody else, is what you're saying.
No, I don't think so in this case, because usually the best team has the best player. That wasn't the case this year. You can think about Stats. Stats are going to be a team that's lost in history, this Stats team, because they didn't win anything. Then you have Jamaica College, who won the double. You get me? So they have to be thought about. Then you have Clarendon College, who also won a double in their own right. So, yeah, Clarendon College, I'll give it to them, but it's a tough one.
Yeah. Just one more before you go there. I'm not sure if you've seen a lot of this secondary school football league in Trinidad and Tobago, because, of course, the clash comes up in January with Clarendon College and JC tackling St. Benedict's and Fatima. Do you think the TNT schools can handle these big guns?
I mean, historically, Jamaica are a better football nation than
Trinidad and Tobago.
Holy shit.
They are?
No.
Trinidad and Tobago are 8-time Caribbean champions.
Yes, more than Jamaica.
Jamaica have been 6-time winners.
Yes.
Well, I mean, my history as a young man.
Okay.
So I would like to say in that regard, so I don't think that they're going to come to Jamaica with the talent, because you have to remember that Jamaica College has Caribbean talent as well.
I make your job easier for you. When we were in TNT for the Run Barbados Marathon, the producer's chasing us out 20 seconds in Barbados. Run Barbados Marathon in Barbados. Our crew of producers and camera operators and technical guys, they're all Trinis. They say the TNT schools have no chance, because they watch the schoolboy football in Jamaica and they film, they produce the schoolboy football in Trinidad. I won't call their names because I don't want their friends to get upset with them. But they've said to me, George, no. We have no chance. No chance. All right?
Horrors.
Absolutely.
Horrors, man.
No chance. Let's take a break and come right back with more.